Hey YouTube friends and family, welcome back. Just Christina here. Today we're going to go down a statistical rabbit hole and we're going to disprove something. So one thing about statistical studies, about quantitative studies that deal with number crunching and percentages, we take something called sampling validity and we use it to base our merit on the standard deviation of the control group and the overall group. So that's this number here. So you're taking the standard deviation of the overall group. So let's say you have the people that got it, that got the infection, and then you have the control group here that either had it and recovered it or didn't have it. And then you take your percentage here, and what you end up with as an end result is a percentage of X amount of people out of X amount of people passed away from it. So in sampling validity, you have to have enough numbers. You have to have external validity, and you have to have a good enough control size in your groups that are fairly equally matched. You have to have a lot of people is what I'm saying. So to have sampling validity, you have to have enough numbers in the control groups or you're going to start skewing your data. So what I mean by that is, let's say, okay, you did interview or you did end up finding that 100 people out of this group of the I had it's passed away from it, but you only looked at a group of 5 people that recovered from it. So immediately your percentages are going to be higher because you're going to say, 95% of the people that we studied died from it. That's a really, really strong percentage, but it's wrong because your numbers are skewed. So you don't have sampling validity. You have to have good sample sizes from both groups. So you don't have a control group, first of all, is one issue with this whole situation. Go to the CDC website. There's tons of metadata there, but I haven't noticed anything to fix the skewed data. There's no standard deviation transformation. There's no log transformation. There's no clear understanding of who the control group versus, or who their control group is. With the percentages, they're just saying, okay, this percentage of this group ended up dying. Oh, we had 100,000 people or whatever, which I think in my state, there's only been 5 people. And there's 2 million people in my state. So that's less than statistically valid to cause concern. Because statistically, we're looking for 0.5% or 1% to make it valid. Now, another thing that I have not seen with this skewed up and screwed up data that we're seeing for this narrative, something that we take into consideration are external validity and outliers. Now, the outliers of all of your data is when you take all of your data together and you throw out the highest and the lowest, just because those might be weird circumstances that are going to skew your data anyway. So let's say you have 55 out of 100 people that passed away, but one of them actually happened to be a 95-year-old. So we're going to take that highest number, we're going to take that lowest number, we're going to get rid of them in our samples, in our data. And controlling those outliers helps us find statistical validity. So basically, this is doing a transformation of your data to say, instead of getting 5.4% probability, you're actually getting like 0.04% probability because of that one control person that gives you the high probability, but it's based on external variables that you don't know of. So that brings me to external variables. And this group here of the people that have passed versus this group here of the people that have recovered. We're seeing high numbers here in this group, but the ones that are being documented on their death certificates, sure, they're saying that they died from this, but how do you know that stage 4 terminal cancer isn't grouped up in this, or heart attack or car wreck or things like that have not just become the COVID narrative. Whereas these people here that have recovered or stayed home because they haven't been tested, well, they haven't been tested because they don't want them to be part of the group. Once you get tested, you're part of the control group. You're part of the statistical law of averages. And that is what they don't want. So anyone who is sick or is a threat, sure, we're going to test you. Anyone who thinks they might need to get tested, you're young and healthy. You're going to recover. Go home. We're not going to test you. That's what we're seeing right now. So statistically, this is not a viable situation. It is not it's cause for concern. Anything is cause for concern. If you go into the hospital and you're in a critical care ward, or if you're in a hospital in an intensive care unit, you're going to be, hopefully, a little more mindful of things like MRSA and things like that, because those are breeding grounds for it. But if you're out and you are doing what you need to be doing, breathing God's precious air, washing your hands, not being an idiot about it, don't go up and lick somebody's face. I mean, don't shake hands with somebody that just sneezed and wiped their nose on their hands. Be smart. Don't be gross about it, but live your life. Go outside. And don't believe this false narrative because the numbers are skewed. There's no positive way that we can ever recover from such heinous altering of data. It's not valid. Okay. We'll see where it goes from here. But it's not valid. Have a good day. Just Christina signing out.